I'm on the road again and ready for more grand tours around our beautiful country.
Look at the open road.
I'll never forget my childhood holidays spent in the family campervan.
It was a really happy time for all of us.
So I'm back with my own set of wheels. Named after one of my favourite people.
I'd like you to say hello to my wonderful campervan, Helen Mirren.
She is the perfect travelling companion.
Let's pack this away.
For a great adventure.
Come on.
Round the length and breadth of Britain. To find beautiful places.
Jeez, look at that.
And hidden corners.
Oh, the mystery.
It's a celebration of amazing locations.
It's so exciting.
Both big and small.
Sexy.
So saddle up and join me.
Bye.
On my grand days out. This time, I'm in Kent, exploring the Garden of England.
That's like something out of a Hollywood movie.
I'll be performing new skills.
Amazing. Oh no.
Coming across awesome sights.
Stunning.
And enjoying all sorts of delights.
That's absolutely delicious.
In this gorgeous corner of England.
Beautiful sunny day, and I'm in Kent. I've got a picture in my head of what Kent is. Much like this, in fact. Beautiful, rolling fields, berries, hops, coastline. And I just can't wait to explore it. If you'll excuse me, I just can't wait. I'm very sorry, I'll get my coat. Apologies.
The story goes it was Henry VIII who declared Kent the Garden of England after tasting some of its delicious fruit.
Look how beautiful it is.
So it feels appropriate to get my bearings in an orchard fit for a king.
What a great place to start. I think my favourite part of any journey or adventure I do is this, opening up the map. There is something here that has very much caught my eye, and it's a castle, but it appears to be called Leeds Castle. Now, I am not known for my geographical knowledge, but I know we're not near Leeds.
I'm going to kick things off at that curiously named castle. Head to Chatham's historic dockyard, then meander my way through the county. Before concluding things at the iconic White Cliffs of Dover.
Let's see what Kent has to offer.
And sometimes it's the small things that matter most.
One of the things I really love about driving in these wee lanes are the hedgerows, the birds nipping back and forward in the hedgerows. It's always so sweet to see. Marvellous.
And marvellous doesn't exactly do Leeds Castle justice.
Oh, now that's like something out of a Hollywood movie.
There's been a stone castle here for over 900 years, but this Leeds Castle has naught to do with Yorkshire. The name is thought to come from the Old English word isledis for slope or hillside.
I don't know why I've always wanted a moat. It'd be difficult when I got my home delivery shopping.
Built on two islands, it's easy to see why this stunning castle has been called the loveliest in the world.
If I won the lottery, I'd buy somewhere like this, but I don't even think if I won the lottery, I could buy somewhere like this.
This was a palatial home to royalty until 1552, when it was gifted by a young Edward VI to a noble family.
Hi there.
Hi there.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you very much.
This is a very beautiful, beautiful castle.
Jenny George has worked at the castle for nearly 20 years and knows all about its modern history and the women who raised its profile during the Roaring Twenties.
Lady Baillie was an Anglo-American heiress. She inherited a lot of money from her mother, and I believe it was around about £2 million in 1916.
And in today's money, that inheritance would be worth well over 175 million.
She bought the castle for 180,000 in 1926.
No.
So, yeah. When she bought it, it was pretty much derelict. So she did it up and spent a lot of time and money on it. And then she basically had it as her weekend pads.
Very fancy. In fact, fancy enough to draw a bit of Hollywood glamour to this quiet part of Kent.
She would bring all the rich and famous from London, the Charlie Chaplins, the Errol Flynns, the Winston Churchills, and have long weekend parties.
Can you imagine what happened at those parties?
Yeah.
But it was very discreet, wasn't it? If you were invited, it was a no thank you, you're not telling anyone what's happened.
Absolutely, yeah. And Lady Baillie herself was a very, very private person. She had a private staircase and she'd come down into the party ready when everyone else was already partying and then just disappear when she wanted to.
I love that, Jen. Greatest tip someone gave me once: if you're at a social event and you don't really want to be there, go in, make a big fuss, say hello to everyone and then leave, and everyone will think you've been there the whole night.
Perfect.
And Lady Baillie didn't just lavish money on her castle.
You must go and explore the grounds, so I'd suggest you go head up to the maze, really, and that area, and go and enjoy yourself.
You've got a maze?
We certainly have.
Made up of more than 2,000 yew trees, this maze is said to be so complicated it even baffled its designer.
Hi there, I'm Susan.
Good morning.
Luckily, Dean here knows its secrets. It's just a question of whether he'll share any.
I'm not going to tell you how to complete it.
Do you have any tips though for
I've
me?
got a few
Come on,
tips.
tell me.
Don't go to the corners. If you end up in the corners of the maze, then you've definitely gone wrong. Good luck. Don't underestimate the maze.
That's like the tagline for the best action movie I've yet to star in. Don't underestimate the maze.
I've got a feeling this maze is going to be a blockbuster.
I genuinely love mazes. I first saw them in the film The Shining. It's really quite a spooky film. And I've always been fascinated by something that you do for fun, where you deliberately get lost. So, let's get lost.
Apparently, I should head for the tower at the centre. But with massive hedges towering either side of me, that's easier said than done.
Mazes are just like life. Sometimes you're faced with a decision. Which way should I go? And in my life, if there's a decision to be made, always go left.
But of course, if you always go left, you tend to end up back where you started.
Time's lost all meaning. The hedges are closing in, Calman. Keep the head. I think I can see it. The centre of the maze. I'm nearly there.
As to how long it took me,
What a lovely achievement.
well, let's not spoil the moment.
I feel actually really good about myself. But now I'm starting to feel a little bit... How am I going to get back out again?
But then, that's the joy of a maze. Sometime later,
Whoa! Oh, now this is a good one. Here we are.
it's good to be back on the open road, although Kent is a bit like a maze itself.
It's on these kind of lanes. I'm delighted that Helen is a smaller van. Whoa!
I'm venturing 20-odd minutes to Strood, where I've heard I can dig a little deeper into the spectacular county. And when I say dig, it turns out they're not kidding.
Not that long ago, I had some building work being done in my house, and the builders left a digger in my garden over the weekend, and I jokingly said, "Can I have a go at the digger?" And they said no. And we've got a GPS tracker on it, and we'll know if you've driven it. But that's okay, because as soon as I knew I was coming to this neck of the woods, I knew that there was one place I had to come.
Opened in 2000, Diggerland has taken disused industrial land and turned it into an outrageous theme park for machine enthusiasts, big and small. I can't wait to get my hands on the big toys, but not before I get a bit of training from Amy.
Ready? So turn it on.
Okay.
Perfect. Push it forwards. That's it. So bring your arm out and now bring it back towards you.
The aim of this exciting game is to give me a feel for a full-sized digger. And it seems hook-a-duck is a good way to do that.
Slow and steady is key.
Ah! How do I bring it forward?
Your right arm.
Oh, hang on a second.
You're so close.
Oh! I mean, this is the tensest television anyone's ever watched. Right, up a bit, up a bit, up a bit, up a bit. I mean, I'm nearly there. Right, and down. I need to go forward a wee bit, don't I?
Yep. And then come down with your right hand.
Oh, just for the love of all!
This is starting to get personal.
That's it. Oh, and then up. Yes!
One duck, nailed!
Amy looks as relieved as I am, and clearly I've proved I'm ready for the next level. And this mighty beast is the next level.
Make sure you hold on, please.
If only my builders could see me now.
Push forward.
Never mind a duck, you could hook a pterodactyl in this one. Time to put my training into action.
I am amazing. Oh, ho, ho, ho!
In the right hands, this machine can move hundreds of tons of soil a day.
Well, that's a lovely noise, isn't it? Here we go.
But in the wrong hands, it can drive a person mad with power.
Pew, 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 pew!
I could do this all day, but Helen might get jealous.
I love Helen. I've got another wee kind of childish dream that maybe she's like a transformer. Maybe one day I'll just be driving her and she'll turn into a massive digger like this. You never know, do you?
But in case she doesn't,
Oh, ho, ho, ho!
I might just stay here a little longer. I'm having a grand day out exploring Kent, a beautiful place my family and I used to travel through on holiday.
On longer car journeys, we each had a Walkman, a Sony Walkman, with tapes. My sister really loved Duran Duran. I was into Wham. Ovs. Wake me up before you go. Because I'm not planning on going solo. Wake me up before you go. And I'm missing again that.
I must say the Garden of England is hitting all the right notes with me. I'm now making my way across the River Medway to Chatham's historic dockyard. After more than 400 years of service, the Royal Navy left the dockyard in 1984. This 80-acre site is now run by a charity as a major visitor attraction. The place is clearly thriving and is home to the world's only working Victorian ropery.
Hi there.
Hiya.
And it turns out Leanne Clark is Britain's only female master rope maker.
Oh, this is magnificent. It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
What a gorgeous place this is.
It really is, yeah.
You are, if I'm right in saying, a master rope maker. Can you tell me exactly what that means?
Modern rope making companies now, they have a lot of machines next to each other, maybe 1 or 2 people running them. Here we have to work as a team with 3 or 4 people making one piece of rope in the traditional method that they would have done in the 1800s.
Back in the day, women did work here, but they weren't necessarily rope makers, were they?
The women beforehand were spinners, bobbin girls, all that kind of thing. And I'm the first one to have actually worked on the rope walk floor with the guys.
Are you an absolute rope nerd, Leanne? When you go out and about, you're having a casual dinner and there's a rope-based thing somewhere near you, are you looking at it going, well, it's all right?
I am very much that person, so much. It's even worse watching TV and film. Watching something and I'll suddenly go, oh, that's a clove hitch with like an extra hitch on the end. I'm terrible, really bad.
Oh my goodness, I'd love to go and see like pole dark with you.
Filled with all manner of working Victorian equipment, this place is definitely a rope nerd's nirvana.
Start with the yarns, and the more yarn you have, the thicker the strands are. This machine here is what turns it into rope, literally just by spinning it around.
What's this incredible piece of machinery there? What's that for?
That's the fun bit. This is the...
That's the fun bit? This is the fun bit! It's like a giant whisk!
This is what we call the top cart. It's a cart that forces the rope together. When this machine starts spinning, you get to stand on one of the bases and ride the whole thing to the far end.
So you get to ride it as it goes down?
Yep.
And to make a full-length rope means riding the top cart for over 10 minutes. That's no surprise, because when it was built in 1728, this was the longest brick building in Europe.
From outside brick to outside brick, it's a quarter of a mile long.
But to ride the cart down the building, you need to be an experienced rope maker. Fortunately, there's an alternative form of transport.
Bikes?
Yes, bikes. It's a long way to the far end, so to get there quickly and to be able to keep an eye on every part of the process, we use bikes.
I haven't ridden a bike in 30 years. This is going to be a lot of fun.
I'm always willing to go that extra quarter of a mile. No matter how long it takes.
I mean, that was really easy, wasn't it?
Just like riding a bike.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't very good at it, but I gave it my best. I don't suppose there's anything I can have a go at in here, is there?
We can go over to the other side and we can have a go at some knotting or splicing.
I'd love to. Hold on a second. I'm going to ride all the way.
They may be famed for their traditional ropes here, but they also turn their hand to more manageable creations. And I'm having a go at making a rope doorstop.
This is?
A concrete ball. It goes in the middle.
Ball.
Just pop it in the centre.
OK. Right.
And you've got a lot of rope to work with, so
Yeah.
you may get tangled at some point.
OK, well...
Don't worry about it.
It's a good day if you get tangled in some rope, Leanne. Right?
And you just wrap it around. So you go 1, 2. The rope will fight you.
The rope is fighting me, I'll be honest.
It seems with rope work,
Beautiful.
just when you think you've got the hang of it,
Oh, no!
there's a twist in the tail.
think the way to do it is to just not have any fear. Don't show the rope any fear.
There's no doubt as to who the master rope maker is here.
It looks quite artisan.
There are many people that have got one like this, but I don't think there's anyone that's got one like that. So...
I'd say Leanne's job is well safe for now.
I'll just walk away slowly with what I've done. Thanks, Leanne.
That's all right.
Bye.
Bye.
I mean, it's certainly an individual piece of art, isn't it? Very proud of it. And I think Helen's going to absolutely love it.
I just hope her springs can cope with the extra weight.
You might have heard of a game called 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. I play a game called 6 Degrees of Helen Mirren. Let me tell you how it works. You pick an actor or actress, anyone you like, and then you see how quickly you can get to Helen Mirren through the films they've been in. I'll give you an example. Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts was in Ocean's 12 with Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was in Red with Helen Mirren. 2 steps. Excellent. The longest chain I've ever done is 25. That was to get from Anita Dobson to Helen Mirren. Took a while.
I'm now heading to the village of Coxheath, where I've heard the locals really know how to throw an event. This seemingly quiet place has been hosting the World Custard Pie Championship since 1967, and it's not hard to spot those involved.
Hi there.
I'm hoping organiser Jeff Cook and his comedy sidekicks can keep their hands off their flans.
What I really think is intriguing is it's a competition based on something that's very famous from slapstick comedy. Now, I used to watch Laurel and Hardy and Harold Lloyd and stuff growing up. Were you a fan of slapstick comedy?
Oh, yes, very much so.
Some of the funniest scenes in early cinema involved throwing pies. And in Coxheath, it seems like they're out to emulate their slapstick heroes.
There's something very, very simple about someone getting a custard pie in their face that is amusing.
Without a doubt. But it becomes a very serious competition when there's a world championship at stake.
All sorts of teams take part.
We are Pie, Prejudice and Zombies.
We have a fancy dress competition at the same time, so they all come in different guises, and that's taken very seriously as well.
In terms of the competitors, is it mostly local people that come, or do people come from all over the world?
All over the world. But I grew up in a village, so I remember that coachloads of people coming from Holland, France, and recently we've had teams from Japan. There's a lot of interest from Japan because they like their slapstick.
Okay. What is in the custard pies?
It's a secret recipe, I could tell you, but so it's flour and water mostly. Consistency of it is the key. It has to have the right drop on it so that it travels well.
And so do you get points for hitting a face?
You do. You get 6 points for a face,
3
points for a near miss, which is shoulder up, 1 point for anywhere else.
Let's see if I've got what it takes.
It's like I've got a crepe! OK, underarm.
It may just be a 1-pointer, but it don't half feel good. Time for me to skedaddle before it all kicks off. Oops! Too late. But then, I've always wanted to star in my own slapstick comedy. Ones are the best. I'm having a grand day out being charmed by beautiful Kent.
The only problem I have about driving through these villages is there are often these lovely pubs and you just want to stop the van, see if they've got a room for the night and settle in.
But I'll resist the urge for now. because I've heard there's a special part of the Garden of England. A place that supplies Wimbledon with its strawberries.
I love watching Wimbledon, watch it every year. And it's one of those things that I get really excited when the camera picks out spectators who've made a real effort. And if I ever got to go, I'd want to be one of those people. So I've already planned my outfit. I'm going to get one of those giant tennis balls, cut it in half and wear it as a hat. Play it cool, but really hope that the camera focuses on me, because that's part of the fun. I mean, you're there for the tennis, but for goodness sakes, if I got on telly, oh, it'd be amazing.
One day, Susan, one day. Here at Hewlow Farms, they've been growing strawberries for over 125 years.
The door then.
A family business for 5 generations, it's now run by Marion Regan.
Hi there, Marion.
Hello, lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. This is brilliant, isn't it?
Well, thank you. Yes, we're really pleased with this.
Strawberries represent love and passion, but they also represent brightness and summertime, and they're amazing.
They're a very evocative fruit. Particularly, people always talk about their childhood experiences of eating strawberries. I mean, they really do have that very summery taste.
My mum and dad would put the telly out the living room window into the garden, and we'd sit and watch the Wimbledon final eating strawberries. And these strawberries go to Wimbledon.
Yes, and they have been for 30 years. There's something about the English strawberry season and the Wimbledon fortnight that just comes together in a happy coincidence.
I like to, when I go to the supermarket, buy the stuff that's not perfect. They call them wonky strawberries. Do you have wonky fruit?
Yes, so with strawberries, if they're not perfectly pollinated, then they can develop into a funny shape. So this one, you can see, has not had all of its seeds formed all the way around.
Is it when the bees don't fully pollinate a flower?
Yes, yeah. Probably it was very cold when that was a flower.
Can I?
Yes, please do. It will taste nice, but it isn't a class 1 berry.
Well, do you know what? Neither am I, Marion. I'm not a class 1 anything.
Does it taste nice?
Oh, it's so sweet.
Yes, there's so many things you can do with strawberries.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Shall we? First up, a fruity mocktail.
I've just taken some strawberries, maple syrup, and some lime juice, and then you need a splash of soda in it. Enjoy.
Okay, down the hatch.
Down the hatch. Cheers.
That is absolutely delicious.
But a garlic and strawberry salad dressing? Come on, Marion. You cannot be serious.
Here, I'll show you. I'm like Keith Floyd. Come and have a look at the dressing there. Look how pink that is.
It's just oil, vinegar, strawberries, garlic and seasoning, whizzed up in a blender.
I would never in my life, Marion, have put garlic with strawberries.
And to think, some people just have these with cream.
I can give you my cast iron guarantee that strawberries and garlic are amazing. And this is one of the most delicious ways to enjoy strawberries I've ever experienced.
Oh,
thank you, Marion. Cheers.
I'd say that's game, set and match to Marion. I'm now heading southeast to St Margaret's Bay to explore Kent's stunning coastline. I just hope I can find my way.
Slow down, Helen. What's that sign?
I wonder if this is Cheese and Pickle Lane.
Love a novelty sign, me. Suddenly feeling a little bit peckish. There's something really very beautiful about driving along the coastline.
Just as I'd hoped, St Margaret's Bay seems a great spot to stop for a nosy around. But before I do, I'm going to sample some more of those delicious local strawberries, along with a childhood favourite of mine, Angel Delight.
When we used to go on our summer holidays in the campervan as a family, we were each allowed to choose like a treat that we would have, a special treat. And I always chose one specific thing. And when I was at the strawberry farm, it reminded me of it. So I am going to show you one of my secret family recipes that I still make to this very day.
Excuse me?
I have a packet of mousse, fruit mousse dessert, which it's very important to do this when you put it in, because some of it always flies out when you put it in. And then what you add is you add about 300 millilitres of milk. Now, I don't have a measuring jug, but it doesn't matter because we're al fresco and we're cooking. It's kind of like adventure cooking. Now, my favourite is strawberry flavour. Some people believe butterscotch is better, but they are wrong. Just keep going until it feels right. That's the thing about cooking. It's just got to feel right, hasn't it? And then what we do now is we whisk. Now, some people would use an electric whisk, but I'm on a camping trip. I don't have an electric whisk. I've got this instead. Now, I remember my granny used to do this by hand. Massive biceps, my granny. She looked like Popeye.
And don't I wish I'd inherited her strength.
Just take a wee look at the view. Now that's good. I like that a lot. This is hugely important. It's not like meringue that you put over your head to see if it's done. Do not put this over your head to see if it is of a sufficient texture. You will get it on your head. I can tell you that from experience. Now, at this point, the youngest member of the family always gets to lick the whisk. It's me.
Ooh, I'm just like Nigella.
We've got some beautiful strawberries here that we got earlier on. I mean, they are absolutely stunning. And then what we do is we spoon some of the beautiful mousse onto the top. I really like to be liberal with my squishy cream. Why not? Life is too short. To make it look pretty, strawberry on top. I mean, it's heaven. It's absolute heaven. Just need to add a wee bit more squishy cream. Best day ever.
St Margaret's Bay isn't just a great place to scoff retro desserts. It also helped inspire one of my favourite writers.
I am a huge James Bond fan. I've read all the books. I found them one day in a charity shop and I bought them all and devoured them all and I love them. Ian Fleming, the author of James Bond, lived down there. I mean, that's iconic, isn't it? And he based some of the stories around where he lived, and just over there, there's a pub. I think Ian Fleming went to the pub. Oh, it's a hard job, but I suppose I better find out. Let's go to the pub.
Hi there, what can we get for you today?
Pot of tea, would that be okay?
Yeah, we can get you a pot of tea.
Thank you. Before you go, though, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did Ian Fleming really live in the houses over there?
He really did live in those houses over there. This was his local.
No way, so he came in here?
He would have come here and had a beer.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
Because he based a few of his books in this area, like Moonraker and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yep, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. The car used to fly out and land on the Goodwin Sands, just out in the water there and have the picnic. That's what it was about.
Now I'm here, I want to live my Bond dreams. How do I do that?
Got to be a classic car.
Do you know, there's a part of me that's always wanted to be a Bond girl. Sorry, Helen, I have to leave you behind. I think this is much more appropriate, but I think I have to change.
This is Bond on a budget.
Sometimes people look at me and think, you're not glamorous. I hanker for the glamour. I've had no outlet for the glamour. Now I have the glamour, I love it. So I'd be a great Bond girl because, for a start, I box, so I could punch just as hard as he does.
I like fine wines. I like espionage. What I'm saying is, I'm essentially auditioning right now to be a modern Bond girl. Honestly, can't you see this in the trailer for the new James Bond? Short Scottish woman. He falls in love, she says, I'm not ready, James. Maybe later. I can make my own money, thanks, James.
You know what? I might just set my sights a little higher.
The name's Calman. Susan Calman.
Come in, Daniel Craig. Your time is up. I'm nearing the end of my grand day out in Kent, bouncing along the stunning coastline.
She loves a speed bump, does that, Helen?
I'm now heading just a few miles away to try and get a closer view of a great British icon. Composed of chalk and reaching over 300 feet in height, the world-famous White Cliffs of Dover have become synonymous with British spirit. Something it seems these ladies have in abundance.
I'm Susan, by the way. What's your name?
Janice.
Janice?
Morag. And Sue.
Morag, how often do you swim in the sea?
About 6 days a week, but this one goes in every single day.
Why do you do it?
Because I love it, because it's addictive, and because it makes you feel great.
I've never been so healthy in my life.
Really?
Emotional health, spiritual, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
So I really want to see the White Cliffs of Dover. Is there a place you could recommend I go to see it?
Yeah, I think if you go out on a boat, it would be the best thing, because then you can actually see them from a distance.
A boat.
It's brilliant.
Lovely.
I think you ought to swim it.
Yes,
I think you get in the water.
You just keep trying to get me to swim. It's the most remarkable thing on the beach in Dover. Listen, ladies, thank you so much. You're amazing. I'm going to get a boat. You go for a swim. But thank you so much for speaking to me. See you later on. Bye. It was quite sedate up until a moment ago. We're just coming out of the main marina and I've got my first glimpse of the White Cliffs of Dover. And they're absolutely stunning. In life, there's often things that are both quite intimidating and quite comforting at the same time, and that's what this is. Seeing it from this perspective is really quite different because it's rising out of the sea, it's natural, but it's just cemented, I think, in people's minds. It's just an iconic view. And it's only when you get this close to it you see the scale of them, actually. And how important this place was.
These formidable cliffs are said to have once deterred Julius Caesar. But the proximity of Europe meant this coastline has long been under the threat of attack. Over hundreds of years, a labyrinth of tunnels and bunkers have been carved into the soft chalk under Dover and the surrounding cliffs. But the effects of coastal erosion mean some of them are now being revealed.
As part of what's happening with nature, the openings of them are being exposed, and it's one of those incredible things about history that I love. You see something, but underneath, there's a whole different story.
And a major part of the story of these cliffs came during the Second World War.
Things sometimes spark an immediate memory or a feeling, and this reminds me of my granny, Grace, And she was living in Glasgow in the Second World War. We used to play in her bomb shelter she still had in her back garden, her Anderson shelter, and she would talk about what it was like. And one of the things she always talked about was the song, The White Cliffs of Dover. And I think it was such a positive, hopeful song. And it was for people leaving and coming back, and it still is today. And it just reminds me of that. It's a feeling of hope. And they're still here. And they're still a sign of hope for so many people. So, what a wonderful end to a wonderful trip.
There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover. Tomorrow, just you wait.